All right, good peoples. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, or whatever your celebration is. All right, let's get going. This is the third and the last here on 1224 evening. I'll be back with some summary ones over the next days when Max declares, and then have some other things on the weekend I'm going to do. All right. So, what was paid from Defiance? Here they are down here in yellow. So, you had a QQQY pay 24.57. You had a S&P 500, the old JEPI known as WDTE, 23.75, so pretty close. And the highest payer was the Russell at 25.81. All of the funds were down. And honestly, when I look at the chart, I mean, it's just nothing great. I mean, this is the chart of IWMY. Now, they did change their payment distribution to weekly, sort of mimicking Roundhill, which was very popular and is very popular. So Defiance has a long way to go. And again, I'm going to do a summary comparison, but already I've noted something that's going to make it very difficult for Defiance, because I was trying to do apples and apples or oranges and oranges by doing the same time frame, right? These guys only went to weekly on 10/9. This is the summary for these funds. This is this distribution, right? So that's why I have two different categories. Over here, what we'll be seeing is we'll be declaring 1231. That's for their monthlies, right? The targeted S&P, the targeted NASDAQ 100, and USOE, the oil index. Okay, so those are monthly. They declare on 1231. Now the weekly will declare again on either 1231 or 1/1. I'd have to look. Based on 1224, it should be 1231. Let's see what day of the week that is. That's a Tuesday. So there is some trading going on, probably a half day. So I suspect, like 24, they will declare again their weeklies. Now, maybe that's then their year end, and maybe they'll bump theirs up for the bigger payout. But Roundhill's already done that on theirs. Two big payments on Roundhill. So I think I'll wait till the 1231. Now that one won't be paid until around 1/5. You know, when you get some, obviously January 1st is a holiday, usually New Year's Day. So we shall see what all happens to get that kind of comparison. But so this is the summary of what they paid. And again, they continue to have their NAV price go down. So let's look at the summary up here on the top. So these guys launched October the 9th in a weekly format. They'd already done an inverse 3-for-1 split because they had such NAV reduction, right? So on one hand, they pay a good yield, but if all your yield is sort of returning your capital, I want some growth. You know, I can trade somebody made a comment, I always comment about my newer method, and I've always been somewhat of a short-term trader, not really a day trader. Once in a while I'll do that, but I'll swing trade over a few days, a week, a month, whatever it takes sometime for the swing trade. And then I'll put some options on if I need, sort of do my own covered calls, naked calls, whatever I feel like. And then when I see a bullish impulse, in other words, I see that there's a breakout and this stock looks like it's going to move up 10, 15, 20%, be it an index or a single stock, that's when I use 2x leverage. So somebody made a comment that just triggered food for thought. They said, oh, well, I don't do 2x because they're 2x going up and 2x going down. And that is entirely correct. I would not advise anyone to long-term hold a 2x because of the geometric as opposed to arithmetic, right? It's got compounded leverage. And when that can get used against you. So, but when you want it, if I go out and I say, hey, I'm buying Misty for yield max for income, but I look at Defiance and I go, here's MSTX. Why would I want to be in it? Well, in Misty, maybe I'm just going to leave it. But my underlying, my Misty is going to go to 45 when MicroStrategy soars, and it's going to go to 19 something when MicroStrategy is hurt. In the meantime, I'm going to get income, but that volatility is really big. So whatever takes it down to 19 and runs it back to 45, you've got more than a double on your underlying. But most people don't sell it when they see that. They're going, oh, I'm getting $4, maybe I'll get 5, and they ride it through. Now, some of you are more adept at trading in and out of owning those yield max or other single stock funds, right? But I look at it like, I don't want to own anything long term, but if I see MicroStrategy running, I'll go out and buy MSTX, right? The Defiance 2X. Where do I have some of those? I don't have it there. Yeah, here we go. Bull MSTR, right? MSTX. And there's one somebody pointed out from Rex or one of the other funds that's also very good. It might even be ProShares. I don't have it right in front of me. But the idea is if it's going to have a 30% move, you know, and you go up and down while you're collecting income in a single income fund and don't trade in and out because you don't want to get hit with a capital gain. I don't worry about that. I can easily with 2x, if it's a good impulse move, get 100%. And that can happen in a week or 4 weeks or 5 weeks. I'm willing to ride that inside a 2x. I'm not willing to sit there and go, oh, I think Bitcoin's going to the moon and MSTR is going to be, XXX and BTC is going to be 1 million over the next 4 years and just sit there in that leverage because that decay works against you as well. Okay, so I thought I'd get that out of the way. So here's the problem I have with Defiance being in these guys. Look at this. I mean, since 10.9, now granted, I went out and looked up the price, right? On 10.9, and here were the prices. All right. And then obviously over here, I track what the current price is, right? Same thing I show down here in calculating the weekly yield. But when you have a NAV loss for little, 2.5 months, okay, of 715, 566, and 1197, really 12%, when you annualize those, almost a 6x, right? Because you got, it would be 5, but I mean, it gives you the idea. It's hard to have a distribution yield that doesn't create negative. So you get to do the same thing with the distribution yield, right? You got an 8% yield. Well, over almost 5 times, you got a 38.257 distribution annualized yield. But look at your NAV loss, 33%. So what's your net return if you bought it on 10.9 only and said, I want to participate in a weekly? Now, I know some of you say you trade it. Brilliant. If you do, great, right? But I know there are people that just want income and don't want to trade. Oh, Bruce, I don't, or I don't know how to write options against something, okay? So you're left at your own devices there. But I think you need to know what all the tools are. And frankly, if I need some income, I want to go where I get less NAV loss to go with my yield. And so right now, the Russell, which has been a great performer at times, is the worst performer for this period, right? And why did I use such a short period? Because that's when they went to weekly. Here are your monthlies, right? Now they don't declare until 12/31 to get their next January monthly, right? They'll declare 12/31, but they won't pay until 1/3/15. I think it's 1/5, but you can look it up on the Defiance website. So this targeted 20% is not that far off, but look, it goes back to 3.7. So they're doing better in their targeted lower yield, less NAV reduction. And you're seeing it. You're seeing an 1862 yield right now. They're going to get paid again real soon, right? Another 7 days. They're going to declare. You won't get paid for them, but they'll declare that amount. And you don't have a NAV loss there, so you're getting almost 19% based on this track record. Now, USOY is an oil fund. Oil's been beat down. So it's got a great yield distribution, 48%. But it's also declined, right, from 1994 to 1416. Now, again, I'm using last month. I don't even know what it is right at the moment, but I can look it up for you guys. But again, it won't matter until we get distribution, right? So if they get another 80 cents or a dollar or something good, yeah, it's actually up. It's 14.54. But I don't update these if I'm not updating the next payment, right? But it's good to see that it's at least coming up from that drop. It went slightly below 14, 1390s. And then now it's back up to 1454. All right. So that's only giving you a total return of 210. So you talk about commodities, oil based. You want a time when you want to be in that, right? That is so true, but that's true of markets in general. That's why I talk about those impulse waves up. And at times I want to be in 2x for the leverage, but I don't want to buy and hold 2x. Okay. So the net result is these are great yields if you just look at 39%, 30%, and 43 on that weekly payment. But your track record since they've been weekly, and for that matter, going back a year and a half since they've been monthly, the NAV is just a killer. It's like a return of capital. It isn't even like you're doing well. I'd much rather be in Round Hill. I'm going to do my analysis, but unless Defiance actually pays a big lump sum return of capital, they're going to really suck compared to Round Hills, who had two great payments that had a lot of ROC in them. Okay, guys, that's what I got for you. And again, happy holidays to everybody. This is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation saying have a great one. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is fun and entertainment. Bye for now.